What's up, everybody? Welcome back to FNG Academy. Buck here, former Green Beret, here to help you guys get selected. Just wanted to jump on real quick and talk to you guys about my new book, Better Broken. So some of you guys have already pre-ordered. Thank you guys so much for doing that. It means the world to me because all that counts for bestsellers lists, right? It's like you put so much into a project. It took me years to write that book, like 10 rewrites to get it to where we were happy with it. Got turned down by a publishing company at one point for it, and then landed an awesome one, and we did a complete rewrite from there. And so it just was this long time in the making. So to put that much work into something, to try your best to hit those bestseller lists in some way or even come close, it just feels good, and it would be really nice, for that to happen. But so you guys are the ones that are making that happen by purchasing the book in the pre-sales, though, because that's how it counts toward it. So thank you guys so much. But what is the book about? What is Better Broken, and why did I write this book? As you guys know, I grew up without much, right? So on welfare, my mom she passed away recently, living out of her car. Things weren't good. Life wasn't good. Between the boyfriends and the fighting and watching mom get knocked out, getting shot at when I was young. My brother and I were in the same car together. We got shot at by somebody and almost got killed. Things like that were just like a regular occurrence in our life. But I did my best to use that trauma, instead of becoming like a victim mentality and using it as an excuse to do poorly in life. I learned how to use it to my advantage. And I think I did a pretty good job. Obviously, there's always things I could be doing better. And I'm continuing to work on growing as a human being, as a father and a husband, as a business owner, as a business partner. And so there's always ways to improve. But I think considering where I came from, I did pretty decent between, master's degree, Green Beret, police officer, the business that we run now, and just enjoying life. And I want to see more people use their trauma to achieve and live the lives that they want. And that's why I wrote this book. It's not for everyone. It's for people who have suffered something. It's for people that have trauma and they don't realize that it's powerful, and they don't realize how to use it. They don't have, the people in their lives that are teaching them how to be successful. Likely the people in their lives are the ones that potentially caused the trauma at a young age, and clearly they're not good role models. So I wanted to put everything I had, all the lessons learned, into a book to help people use their trauma to their advantage. So there's certain roadmaps and guiding principles that I put into the book to really help people. So if you're one of those people, please consider checking it out. I think it'll help, and there's so much in there to unpack. I think that at the very least, you'll get something from the book. And if not, if you just know somebody, a young person who has been through a lot of trauma and is maybe struggling to turn that trauma into something positive, and it feels like it's kind of working against them, then please get that book and hand it off to them, because I think it'll really help. I cover things that I wish I'd known when I was younger, like finances, getting in an insane amount of credit card debt and ruining my credit and not being able to use finances to put myself in a better position, avoiding traps like brand new vehicles, how to manage your triggers. So a lot of trauma comes with it, negative triggers, having issues in public places, fighting, reacting negatively to things that for most people wouldn't be a big deal, but for people with trauma becomes very exploded, and we get a lot of trigger points that we essentially ruin our lives by reacting to, because we react in ways that aren't considered normal by the rest of society. And that's a lot in response to the trauma that we suffered. So the book is really just to help guide you and help you learn to use those things to your advantage. The kind of main principle that I use, it's almost like a U-shaped curve, if you will, to think about it, like a pendulum type curve. And so on the far top of that U is success within poverty. So people that have gone through trauma, they grew up poor, we learn how to be successful in those poverty-stricken environments or those rough environments that we grew up in. So we become really good and successful at stealing, being in, gangs, things like that. So we become successful at being mean in order to defend ourselves, because you have to fight a lot in those kind of environments. So you have this success, but it's not the success that you want. And then on the other side of that curve is societal success. And that's the success that we all want. That's a good business, a good job, a good income, family, positive family relationships. And unfortunately, for the people that grew up in trauma and they're over here coping and learning to live in that, poverty-stricken type of life and coping with all that trauma, that success isn't going to translate until we get to baseline. And so at the bottom of the curve is kind of what I refer to as baseline. And that is learning to get rid of those habits, thought processes, and mentalities that make us essentially successful in poverty, and start at baseline where everyone else in society starts, right? And that is, you have a good understanding of finances, how to control yourself, how to control your emotions. And then the rest of society from baseline starts working towards societal success. The hardest part of someone with trauma in their lives, going from success in poverty and success in hard life to societal success, is getting to that baseline and then starting the process of working towards the life that they want. It's extremely difficult because you find yourself at this baseline not being good at anything anymore. There are so many times when I wanted to run back to my old life, because at least there I was comfortable. I knew how to exist. I knew how to make money, even if it was not a lot. I knew I knew what people expected of me. And that was a big thing, is, having low expectations in that kind of environment is almost easier lifestyle to live. So I found myself wanting to run back to that. And I wanted to teach people how to then start using those lessons that they learned from that life to then start applying it towards societal success. Now, here's the good news for people that grew up with trauma. Once you get to baseline and you understand that your trauma is powerful and could be utilized to propel you, when people with trauma go from baseline to societal success, we do so at a rate that is 2 to 3 times to 10 times faster than everyone that started at baseline. So we have all these lessons that we learn to get to baseline, and then we apply those lessons towards societal success. And that's why you're going to find a lot of actors and a lot of very, very successful people in life started with trauma and then learned to transition and then use that trauma, and then they seem to just propel faster than everybody else. And that's because all of the lessons that they learned from their trauma are now being utilized towards their societal success and towards their passions in life and their growth. So that's kind of a breakdown of the book and why I wrote the book. So I hope it helps. And for everyone that's already ordered it, thank you guys so much. It means the world to me. This is probably the last book I ever write. So I really just hope that is received well and that has the impact that I was hoping to have when I wrote it. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you and everyone that supports the channel and have been there even since my first book came out, which I never intended to actually publish. That was self-published, and that was a terrifying experience, and you guys all supported me through that. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. See you next time.